ongoing right now. By the end of all of this, Trump, the Patriots, they're going to have control of the entire system. And the reason to do this is because Trump has a strong economy. He needs the control, and he has to have the economy weather the storm. Now, what we're going through right now with everything shut down, with businesses reeling, people having a tough time, Trump is using all of their weapons against them. Think about what he's doing. Think about 2008, 2009 during that crisis when they bailed out the banks. Trump, he called it a national emergency. He signed the Defense Production Act. He has full control over where these funds go. Most of these funds right now are going to small businesses and to the people to weather this storm. It's not going off to pay for the banks and to pay off the insurance companies, to loan the automobile industry all of these funds and keep their entire system operating. What he's doing is, as we turn this economy, he is taking all of these funds and actually asking for more, trillions of dollars, using all of this against the central bank system and using it to keep small businesses and the people afloat. There's a reason for this. If the central bankers had it their way, and there was someone else in the presidency, the entire system would have just crashed. They didn't care how many people got hurt. Think about 2008. Take that times it by 100. Remember when that happened? They didn't care. People were losing their houses. People were in their houses, refusing to leave, had no electric. People moved out of their houses, especially in California. You saw that a lot. People just left everything in their homes. They just left. A lot of people ended up sleeping under bridges and tents. We still have this. This hasn't gone away. This is under a central bank system. Trump, the Patriots, what they're doing is they know that this entire central bank system is imploding. He's using their weapons against them and cutting them off at the same time to trap them. This is not about a 4-year election or an 8-year election. This is not about just throwing certain individuals in prison. This is about removing the entire corruption, removing the control from the invisible people that we don't see. That's the invisible enemy that he keeps talking about. That is what he is doing. He is now pivoting and maneuvering to attack. And that attack is coming very soon. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.
Good evening, everyone. Ramblin Randy here in the deep piney woods of East Texas in lockdown, or semi thereof. Powerful episode that you're looking at on the screen. Those people that do see this in the future, recorded, played back, or what have you, I'll probably put it up on YouTube and Twitter. And that was my reminder to do the call. That's the kind of thing I do need. For those just joining us, this is again being recorded, and we put them up on certain platforms that you can choose to visit, Twitter and YouTube. Sometimes I'll put it over on Facebook. I don't go into that matrix very much at all. But we're a group of individuals that have questions, and we have some of us do a lot of research, and we possibly may be able to bring forth to our little community that we're building some value. We know that in the future and right now people are in a serious situation. Most people just want to hear the beautiful words like Jerry Maguire said, show me the money. But nobody's got a job. And this could be a time that we stop and we look at what I'm fixing to tell you and go, this is a precursor of things to come. You might want to pay close attention of how you might be able to tell us what you think you're worth. And we might just match it and beyond. What do I mean by that? I mentioned that we're a group of individuals that have questions. And we're a group of individuals that are sub rosa researchers. That means below the rose. That's back in the day when they had secret societies and the likes thereof, they was referred to as sub rosa societies, beneath the rose, in secrecy. So we are not so much in secrecy, but we are a private sub rosa society of researchers and individuals. We're all teachers at the same time that we're students. We exchange ideas, comments, questions, and concerns on various forums out there. We're going to be mainly using Twitter at the moment. And there could be a point in time that we reopen a platform that we have that really never got out of the nursery down at the when it was born because of certain things. But we're going to use Twitter as our predominant venue to communicate via a forum like that, a social platform. We'll be unique in that what we will do is we'll all recognize and live not only what we're doing here, but we're going to start a culture, try to permeate it across the blue planet. That would be wonderful. That everybody's scatterbrained. I'm talking about if it's time anybody is ready to try something, because the boat's fixing to stop floating. It appears that way. You know, we've heard about these things. I've been studying this stuff for about 20 years. The little bride of mine, of 20 plus, that she was going to join this call, she's down there with her mother, and her stepfather are older in Temple, Texas, and is probably going to ride it out there. I think the whole thing has merit as far as the disease goes. I hope I get back to that same spot I was at before, or run off down this. But I do know that this disease is real and it's killing people. But the narrative and the way they're packaging this thing, just a lot of the loose ends don't add up to be quite this intensive to shut down the damn planet. It stopped a United States aircraft carrier, one of the most powerful weapons on Earth, without a single shot fired. Call it what you may, I call that damn serious black magic. What do you do in a situation where everybody's out of a job, but everybody needs money, and you've got a lot of talent out there? You come up with a plan to monetize just waking up in the morning, and that's exactly what we've done. We all decide and we understand that we live on a principle called a fair exchange of value. You can get slapped silly rich on a fair exchange of value just like you can doing this greed-based horseshit that's been going on since the Battle of Waterloo. I kid you not. And beyond with a fair exchange of value, and you can eat dinner at anybody's table because they'll love you because you got to where you're at based on a fair exchange of value. What is that? Most people sit and they listen to shows like this across the globe. Wonderful people that provide and pour out that content to them. They sit on that couch and they just sit there and soak it up. They hear some things. The bridge is out around the corner, but someone hollered, "Hey, there's a blue light special down at Kmart. We got to get on down there." Or Walmart's got something on sale. Or there's a wet T-shirt contest going on at the mud pool. Whatever the case may be, we don't stop and pay attention to what's going on. We don't pay attention to what's going on here. And it's been going on for quite some time, is that we live in a system. We live in a system. And by the way, there is a wonderful plan out that I'm telling you. You can sit there and you can monetize just you. You may not think that your story's worth a hoot. Just run it up the flagpole. It doesn't make any difference what you've been doing. If you've been sitting in a small town anywhere USA on the same bench for 52 years, you've got some stuff to talk to us about. We'd like to know, how in God's green earth did you pull that off? Can you still stack a sentence together? What are you eating? Is the water good there? We want to know these things. You might be the one that we've been looking for. And if we had 1 million people in our little group that all threw a little something into their own little account that they have full control over, it's not me. and we convert it into our own little tokens of appreciation, and you got a little coinage in there. It's equivalent to pennies, nickels, and dimes. No skin off anybody's nose. But when there's 1 million people hear about that old boy sitting on that bench or that girl sitting on that bench, it'd be better if it's 2 of them, and they've been married for 60 years. They've been sitting on the same damn bench. They got a general store out there that's been through everything. You know, it's been through hell and high water, including floods, famines, and everything else. But they've been on the damn bench. By God, I'd love to hear that story. And if we had 1 million people and they got moved by that, and those people are just sitting there just accustomed to just real basic stuff, but all of a sudden they get hit with 10 pennies, which is the same as the U.S. penny, except we spell them P-E-N-E-Es instead of P-E-N-Ys or whatever it's spelled. And those people sitting on that bench for those 50 years, been married forever, little old bitty town, never saw anything. All of a sudden they got a little account with us over here, silent supporters, said something on one of these calls, people loved it, 1 million people flipped them a dime. I think Bob, I think George and Susan there, it might not even faze them. They'd probably give it all away. Because you know what? I thought about this a whole lot. And I've been to both places, the Wooden Hills at the de Blasio and the top suite up there, you know, the whole bit, and living under the bridge. I got it all going on here. And it doesn't make any difference if you're the most evil mercenary on planet Earth or if you're Mother Teresa. It doesn't make any difference. You're doing something for a reason, and it's a biased reason. And that reason is because it makes you feel good somewhere. That mercenary out there that's cut off 8 people's head today, whatever it may be, he's doing that for a reason. That somehow, somewhere in that sick little deal he's on, he finds peace in that spot after it's all said and done. I would suggest that we bring him to that spot of peace and tell him to put the sickle down. Amen? That's what I'm talking about. So if you can just get to the peaceful place first and cut through all the minutia, and the only reason there's a rift is someone's not getting a fair exchange of value around here. You know what I mean? And this fair exchange of value is that someone's working real hard to bring content for everybody to sit on their couch about this time of night and all day, hell, people like me, all day, and don't even buy a damn ball cap. And some of these influencers and providers, they don't make jack. I mean, they do it just to be doing it. Some of these alternative radio people, you'd think that you might have a vision in your head that they're driving a Maserati or something like that. No, they're coming from a passionate spot. No one even buys ball caps, hats, or whatever, decals, or their little whateverness. Their insider club, whatever it might be. They're not doing it as a rule, but they're doing it for a passion. And some of those people, I can see they're pouring their heart out. They have done massive research, just like you probably do. What's needed is a place that can, in a platform that someone can come in that hadn't got deep pockets, would like to have deep pockets, can get deep pockets by listening to me and following what I'm fixing to say. It has been given to me a way that we can do this deal, get you rich by giving money away. I'm not kidding you. As crazy as that sounds. Randy's Academy to give money away and get rich, and I guarantee it. Now, that'll throw any prosecutor for a loop right there. What did he say? What did that guy say? What did he say again? And I can say that with truth and honesty, but you're going to have to work. If I can get you Maserati, I can get you out of the bind that you're in. We can start real soon. Got to get a little bit more bondo on the little platform that we just went through to get it seaworthy and ready to go and take on a whole bunch of passengers, and we'll set sail together. And you'll get rich if you love this country. The Constitution that we're all living under, and you understand that you need some boundaries, and we call that the rule of law here in the United States of America. I very well know those boundaries, willing to stay inside of them. We're all going to push a couple little old fences a little bit here on this ride, but if we're inside of Caesar's law, and you can get rich if you'll help me save this damn country now. I'm telling you straight up. What do I have to do? Just tell people to come over here and listen to me, follow these suggestions, join with us, make a commitment to give some money away. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is this way. You're going to have a tuition. We can call it anything you want to. Randy's Academy for the giveaway. Don't make it. Whatever it is. You're going to pay give a donation to a show like this. I'll turn around. We'll call that your donation for your monthly classes in this school of being able to create reality from sheer thought. That's what I'm going to teach you how to do. Yeah, I did say that. But at the end of the day, you're going to go, damn it, we did that from sheer thought. Yes, you did. And you got rich doing it, and guess what else? We saved this country. You can move about the cabin, go back to drooling on the couch like you've been doing all your life, but guess what? You turned out to be quite worthy. And your innate value is going to carry you for the rest of your little journey. Just show up every now and then and tell us, what kind of fertilizer you're using up there in the hills. There's a lot of people that'll give you a little token of appreciation to see what makes those little old bitty droplets come out on the end of that little bud. You know what I'm talking about? There's people out there that would tip that kind of stuff anonymously, a silent supporter. And then you could be someone that's a missionary that comes into the local Baptist church. What a radical shift. Yes, but it's true. What we're talking about is a platform, people. A platform that we want to introduce to the entire world. It's a fair exchange of value, redistribution of wealth based on work and logic and a fair exchange. See, the problem out there is these even religions and stuff like that, and all these deals and everything everybody's doing up in there. But the one that's giving, the one that wherever they're stealing it from or pulling it from or telling them or threatening that you're going to die if you don't get the shot, and the shot costs so much. Extraction, extortion is what it is. But we're all in it. And so that's an unfair exchange of value. Is that when you know something like a job's going to cost, to pull your tooth, how long has the damn guy got to get up in there? I know it's got to be clean. All right, let's throw a little something in there for being clean, and get in there, hit me hard with that stuff that makes it numb, get your job over with, and how come you charging me $750 for that deal? What is that? That's an unfair exchange of value. Or it's rampant, and because it's been a culture that we've been teaching. Get as much as you can, while you can, before the sun sets. It's capitalism. Yeah, it is. It is. I'm all about that. But by God, when portable generators run about $600, and then there's a tornado or something goes wrong, and then people are selling for $5,000, that's an unfair exchange of value. Nothing wrong with doubling your money in a deal like that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Especially if you put your blood, sweat, and tears into it, and especially if it's something that is very unique, that no one else would have. It's value. You can double your money on something, like that, especially if it's a bandana or something like what I'm talking about. Did you slip something in there on those people there rambling? Who, me? Not me. But it sure would be nice to have a bandana like that could give a message. Hey, just meet us over on this call at 9 o'clock. And guess what? Someone could show up, and what did I do? I just created something out of sheer thought. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? So we can all do that and get rich. Now, I keep slinging this word "get rich" around. I haven't been using that in a while, but I've gotten, some people here that I invited one of them to come on here and just share with me what he put in a text to me, because there's a reason that they tell you to put on your oxygen mask first in an airplane before you put one on the kids or your whateverness next to you. It's because you're not going to be any good to anybody if you're dead. So, get yourself balanced out first, and then help all that you can as fast as you can and as most efficiently as you can. So, what we're doing here is that we will come in here and we're going to teach people that we'll show everyone this program, how it works in its entirety. But I want this gentleman right here to come on and share his story with you, because it resonated with me. I need to tell people how if you follow some suggestions, I have an agenda. The agenda is getting people to listen to the Constitution, read to them, all that. You don't just listen. That's my agenda. And then I'll show you how you can get slapped silly rich. I'm not kidding you. When I say that, I'm not kidding you, because the agenda here is put more money in the middle class to lower class people that are struggling, get them fat as hell by helping me get people to listen to the Constitution, to understand the rule of law, and I'll show them how to get rich too. These people are all working. Everything they're doing is within Caesar's law of providing value. When they provide certain values, they are a value to the overall community, and we show our appreciation to them for the work that they did from going out there and being first responder, trying to heal some people that have been screwed around mentally for a long, long time. That's what we're doing. So, Mark, I'm going to come out of lecture mode, or let me see. I'm going to see if I can just unmute you from here. Give it a. I can't. Let me see. Yeah, I think I got you open there, Mark. Could you say something? That's not Mark. Okay, hold on. All right, Mark, let me go up here. Yeah, there you are, Mark. Got a few folks on here. Mark, say hello.
Hello, I'm here,
All
Randy.
Right. We got you 5 by 5. I didn't want to spring this on you there, brother, but I read your text to me, and it resonated with me, and I'm going to shift my presentation, if you will, in the future and mold it more around what people are really needing. If you could echo what you sent to me in that text, what you feel people need at the moment, I think it would be quite timely, kind sir.
Well, what I said to you is it kind of scares me what's going on here, because the reason for it is if the good guys are in charge of this shutdown, I believe that we're coming out to a good ending. It's going to be rough, but we'll get there. But if the bad guys are in charge, we're in trouble, and I just don't know who it is. And the thing that I said was that the vast majority of this country, people are essentially paycheck to paycheck, and I'm one of those people. And what's going on right now is we're getting what you call helicopter money, and if it's coming from the bad guys, it's really scary, because what it'll set us up to do is just kind of give up and quit and think that we're going to get taken care of. And if they shut down the helicopter money and there's no money coming in and no jobs, the people at the lower end are screwed, and we're essentially slaves to the man. We're going to have to do anything they tell us to do, and it's going to be a live and die thing. Because the people at the top, they call people like us that are really paycheck to paycheck, middle class and under, they call us useless eaters. And if the bad guys are in charge, they've got us useless eaters of slaves.
Yeah.
And so what I'm thinking that what we need to do is that most people are just woefully unprepared for a long shutdown. And it came quick. I kind of knew it was going to happen over my lifetime. I could read the tea leaves. I'm unprepared because I didn't expect it to happen as quickly as it did. It surprised me. And so what I'm thinking is, in order to save the country, the first thing that needs to be done to save the country is to make sure that the middle class doesn't die in the process. You know, we got to have a job, we got to have income, we got to have a job, and everything you've been telling me about, Randy, about this program, I think we could, you know, the thing we got to do is not only change the people at the top, it helps the people at the bottom, because we're going to need boots on the ground to be able to do it. And if we're enslaved and dying, it's not going to work no matter what. What I like about this program, I think that we need to shift the focus, not shift it, but including the focus, like me and a whole bunch of other people. We need money today, because we honestly don't know where our next bit of money's coming from. We get helicopter money coming in, $1,200 unemployment.
I hear you.
But then we start the money. We can't rely on them to help each other.
No.
Carry each other through it. And that's where I think the strength in this program lies.
Yeah. Let's just get the word out there, Mark. I tell you what, that when I read that, I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate that a whole lot. I'm gonna go back there into kind of a lecture thing, but back in lecture mode there, Mark, we'll have a clear, everyone can hear clearly, is thank you very much for sending me that text. It did move me, and it did, I understand that. The underlying everything that I'm doing is the whole thing that has been created. The lipstick that I'm putting on now really boils down to this. This system is designed to make the person who's willing to work, again, I'll go over a little bit of what work is, but it's mainly telling people just come over and listen to me. That's basically people's task at the moment. That would be pretty much it in its entirety. You'll catch on as you sit and listen yourself how all this and the value that we offer. The objective here is to be able to have anyone that hits that phone the ability to know without a shadow of a doubt if they apply themselves and tell people who can obviously see we've got problems in the country, so say, hey, man alive, you would not believe this call that we've got going on over here at 9 p.m. Central. It's a place that we just all go and listen to people who have questions, and they got people inside of there that also do a lot of research, and we can get the information directly from their membership, and it comes from their heart, and they're giving it to us the best they can, as truthful as possible. And that has a tremendous amount of value, people, nowadays, especially where we're going into. And they go on and say those people that do that research, that when they bring it and it's an answer that everyone's needed, everyone in the group, they've thrown in a little bit in the kitty, so to speak, and they can throw them pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters. If there's enough people hear that answer, think about it. You know, this thing could get huge. And if there's 1 million or 2 people listening and that information moved a lot of people, or that story that they told about catching fish or whatever it may be moved enough people, and 1 million people threw them a dime, folks, we can actually, this is a fair exchange of value based on work, takes it out of any kind of scammy deal. It's legal inside the system, and they're all personal small gifts. Which causes even more benefits down the road that I'll explain to you. You will not believe that. But as far as just basic understanding how fast, as soon as we are able to get where you can pick up that phone, because we changed servers and we're going through a little bit of some issues here, but the date I think is the 4th or 5th. Let me see here, it's the 5th of April. We're looking for activity the best we can. Well, we got the C19 going on, so just stay with us and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and to come back to this call at 9 p.m. Central each and every night, and tell everybody and their brother to come over as well, because we're not selling, we're offering. We're here to help. Now, anyone's going to wonder, how in the world is this thing going to carry itself? How's it going to do? Because we have value to offer as well. And if we teach a culture, when you gain value, I don't care what form it's in. If it's a picture you see, if it's another member and that picture moved you, you gain value, spiritual, emotional value, what have you from it. Our culture tells you to give that creator of that content that you gain value from a small smidget or a small token of your appreciation for the value that they created, and we flip them a penny, nickel, dime, or quarter from the goodness of our heart, expecting nothing in return. But it is how many people that picture moved, or that article that someone writes that we see on any platform out there. It could be from Medium to wherever, Facebook, Twitter. We'll have our home base on Twitter, but you might be posting your stuff on various venues or platforms. Just let us know where, and if we see it and it moves us, again, here we got a bunch of numbers. It could really benefit someone to be able to go out and get prepared for what they need to get, survival stuff and all that kind of stuff that you don't have, and then stash some back for the next gizmo. Now, Mark had mentioned to you about who's in charge, on the other side of this deal. Best thing to do is what Humphrey Bogart did in The African Queen. I will never forget this. It's moved me all my life. I've damn near lived by this. Is he kept that wrench in his hand. He's down there in that little old bitty ship. There's alligators and pythons, and they're about to sink. But he needed to close that little water valve. And by God, it was getting bad, and he finally did it, and the nose come up. And by God, that's where we're at. We stay down there at that wrench in our hand, and we keep telling people to come over here and listen to this guy from East Texas. And I'll simply show them the truth that's going on. They will hear the truth when we open our lines up from other people. They'll hear other people that will say, this is amazing. I came on, I saw a question, I answered it, and lo and behold, we needed it that time. It might not be a lot to everybody, but we received equivalent in donations, in gifts from people's heart, $1,375 worth of our little pennies. And it saved us. That can happen. The only reason that this will not happen is we simply don't do it. I am offering this platform to everybody to use. No fees. No fees. But will we do it? That's the question. I would like for you, if you're on YouTube, to subscribe to this channel. There'll be a little bell next to it, and I'd like for you to hit that subscription bell. Sometimes I'll put things into this. On the little bell, hit subscribe, and it will notify you. That's a notifications bell. Sometimes I'll use that platform. Might as well use their money as a means to contact you, because they do that. When you put that little notification on and you want to be notified when I'm going to have a YouTube show, it might not even be a damn YouTube show, but you got notified. You could go to YouTube and look in the description, and we might be meeting down at the oak tree just past the creek about 30 yards. And that's you could go to a link that would take you to another venue. You would become a member of the People's Army of Eyes and Ears. Something breaks loose anywhere if we got 1 million sets of eyes and ears that have those little old devices that they created. We can use those tools that they created, and they might be used in serious tracking stuff, but let me tell you something about the upright Homo sapien here on the blue planet. You put a bunch of them together with a common cause, and a bunch of them that are thinkers, critical thinkers, don't you worry about the problem. Problem's solved as soon as they get on board and they start thinking about it. Because who would think of putting that over there so that they can notify us to go somewhere else? We're fixing to talk about how to take the whole shooting match and cause it to once again be a fair exchange of value. You know that the Constitution, the rule of law, there's a need for that, keep everybody in line, and the Bill of Rights. If those things were operating and everybody was living inside of the scope and the spirit and the essence of those, we would live in a fairy tale land. As soon as Yellowhead just does a little bit of Mr. Clean up there. You know, speaking of Mr. Clean, I wish that Mr. Whitaker could run the whole dadgum show. I'm not sure about the Basset Hound. No, Bill. Bill, do a good job. We're counting on you, Bill. We're sending you energy, Bill. We're sending you energy, son. We're doing it to you. But if you want to get rich, just stay with us. Go tell some other people. You'll get, because let me tell you why. You donating that to me, I'm going to turn around and, as far as the way that it would come back to you, you'd call it like a donation for a tuition for this thing for a month. I'm going to turn around because I don't have to do the work. I'm going to show my appreciation for you for going out and spending your gas, talking to somebody, whatever it is, to invite them to come over and listen to me like I asked you to do. That has value. It has value to me, and the culture that we have is when I gain value, which I'd gain value, is to reciprocate with a small token. That's a big token. That takes a big load off of me. So there's going to be a lion's share of whoever you bring in their monthly deal. I'm going to give it back to you in a show of appreciation because I have not figured out how to clone myself 1,000,000 times because I need 1,000,000 people, and I'm willing to show my token appreciation for efforts out there. Not only that, but if you'll help them like I'm helping you, help them and show them how to teach someone else, there's a little bone in that for you too, for being a guide or a supervisor for them. You're the first responder. At the moment you meet these people, they are in need. They are mentally somewhat deranged, and so you're the first responder, and we are going to bring things back into sanity based on a fair exchange of value. So for being a first responder, we appreciate that. We're going to give you our value back in showing it. That's how it works. You know, the simplicity of it is very simple. It takes about 15 seconds to describe that, but isn't that a beautiful set of lipstick I put on this pig? Let's ride that pony, because that lipstick is legal and inside of Caesar's law, and I can guarantee you, if you're looking for money immediately within a 30-day period from the time we start, I don't care how much it is, how much you're willing to go out and tell people, be on that 9 o'clock call and tell them who you are, and they sign up, make a commitment, you'll be in tall cotton this coming summer. And you might not, you know, I missed that whole 2008 financial whatever it was. I heard it, depression, the damn near says depression. I didn't even remember it. I wasn't in no depression in 2008. I think I was in Jamaica or I was in St. Thomas. The kids, well, I don't know what happened, but it'll be that way with you if you just listen to me. This is my first rodeo. You know, when you're sitting in tall cotton, it kind of makes it where you can keep that grass trim and you're not the one pushing the mower. You know what I'm saying? It helps things. It can also be the root of all evil. But as long as we deal from fair exchange of value, I think that is ordained from the river. So that's all I have for this evening. Hopefully you've gained some truth here. Hopefully if this has sparked an interest in you, hopefully we'll see you again back at those hours I told you. Subscribe to this channel. Hit the little notifications and come back as often as you can. If there is a deviation on the times and schedules that we have these, you'll hear it on that intro as you entered this time. And until then, if you gained any value, if you picked up any truth, if I opened any windows, remember this. Once a person who has been honestly mistaken all of their life learns the truth, they either cease to be mistaken or they cease to be honest. And I ask you this, after this call, what say you? This is Ramblin Randy. Go out, have a wonder-filled day tomorrow. It is by choice. Smile at a stranger, and I will see you on the very next call. God bless you and the horse that you rode in on. This is Ramblin Randy. We down.